Hey, this is Andrew Connell, and I want to take a moment and talk to you about a half-day workshop I have on React at the SharePoint Fest conference coming up in Washington, D.C. at the end of April and beginning of May. Now, if you've got no experience working with React and maybe you get some experience with the SharePoint framework and you want to know what this whole React thing is all about, this is going to be a great experience for you. We're going to start by explaining what React is, and then we're going to go through the process of building a React-based web part. Now I'm going to start from the very beginning. So if you don't know React, I'm going to really hopefully distill it down in the fastest 101 level primer of what React is. We're going to start building something. We're going to see how to do it with just some of the out-of-the-box stuff that we get. You're going to understand how to create components, React components, how to have them nested, how to have communication between components, so how you can push information into a component and how you can get information back out of a component using events. We're going to talk about some best practices around like lifting the state and state management. We'll look at those things in this as well. And then in the latter part of the workshop, we're going to dive into looking at how we can use something called Fabric React, which is the Office UI Fabric. They've implemented some controls, some reusable controls for us, so that our web parts can look a lot like the hosted environment that they're in SharePoint or really wherever else you're going to end up using this stuff. While we're going to focus on the SharePoint framework, you could use these same techniques in, say, like an Office add-in type extension as well. But you're going to see how to take the web part that we built in the last, in the first part of the workshop, and we're going to change it to work with these different Office UI Fabric controls and the Fabric React controls. And we're going to see how to work with lists and toggles and maybe the autocomplete picker as well. So you're going to see how to do all that stuff. And at the very end, I'm going to talk a little bit too about testing your React components and how you can go about doing that in the SharePoint framework. It's a really good experience. If you want to spend a half a day with me, you want to get up to speed on React and say you don't know anything about it right now, it's a great way to learn it. So I hope to see you there at the SharePoint Fest in Washington, D.C.